But the defensive side of the ball with the DBs, Patrick Peterson, Joey Porter Jr. with the 32nd pick. My pick is similar to that. Please finish your thought. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but no, I kind of cheated for my best offseason move. So I'm sorry. The floor is yours again, Ike.
No, we had to pay some bills, So when we got to pay the bills, we got to betonline.ag. That's exactly what we got to do. But yeah, just on the flip side, on the defensive side, we were just talking about Pat Peterson and his veteran savvy leadership and what he brings to the table, especially with a young secondary and Joey Porter Jr. So we shall see. And it's been some more good news coming out of camp. I think Coach T or the team had nicknamed the two corners avatars. I mean, when you 6'2", 6'3", and you got a wingspan or whatever, that's what you love to see, especially going in this AFC North division. When you go right to the left of you from Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins, them some pretty big humans, some savvy, some real good. That might be the best trio so far up to date. And you need a secondary who can run, who tall enough, and that's what the Pittsburgh Steelers have. When you're drafting for your division because you got to play guys twice in that division. So, yeah, on the flip side, Pat Pete gonna be a huge presence in that room and on the field.
Yeah, I look at what the Ravens did as well and signing OBJ, Nelson Aguilar in the draft, Zay Flowers, their first-round pick. They got a receiver. So matching up against Baltimore, not just Cincinnati, and then over in Cleveland, Amari Cooper is no slouch either. So how do you slow down those star receivers that are in your own division, teams that you're going to face at least twice? And I say that considering you could play these teams potentially in the playoffs as well. It's a great rubber match when you see a division opponent 3 times a season. It's something you have experience with as a player, Ike. Now, I kind of cheated, and this is where Petty Mark comes out a little bit. I love the addition of Broderick Jones, trading up to number 14 in the draft, because you prevent the Jets from selecting him. So there's an old slogan, right? Where the enemy of my enemy is a friend. Bill Belichick and the Patriots did the Steelers a solid in saying, hey, we'll take 17. You can get 14. You can get Kenny Pickett, a bodyguard.
I was there live in person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Mark, you hit it on the head. When your enemy damn near become your friend. And by the end of the day, man, this is just business. And this is what we're doing. So that swap for a swap was perfect for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots. And when I saw the chess move by Omar Khan, I said, oh, Lord, have mercy. Like, he 10 steps ahead of me. Because this chess move would start out, days in advance. So he was looking at every scenario depending on who was where on that board. And when I saw that chess move, when I saw make that call, I was like, oh, my Lord. And then when I saw why he made that call, like, okay, Aaron Rodgers, Jets need an offensive lineman, AFC East, Jets, New England Patriots. No, we're not about to let that happen. Let me go ahead and give Belichick and Kraft and then New England organization a call. And it was like, yeah. I mean, no hezzy from nobody. It was like everybody was on the same page. New England glad that Pittsburgh called them. Pittsburgh glad that New England picked up on the first ring. That's exactly how it went down, Mark.
Well, here's the thing, too. So the Steelers get their first offensive lineman selected in the first or second round since David DeCastro back in 2012. First bookend since Jermaine Stevens in 1996 for the Steelers in the first round. So you help Kenny Pickett and company. And then, oh, by the way, Broderick Jones gets to play with his college teammates in George Pickens and Agent Zero again, Darnell Washington. Like, how awesome is this going to be where it's just like, oh, is this the Georgia Bulldogs? No, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. So there's going to be that familiarity as well. I could keep going too here, Ike, as well, because had the Steelers selected Joey Porter Jr. at 17, I think everyone would have been cool with it. But then he falls in the draft and you get him at 32. So it's the repercussions and the ripple effects of not just selecting Broderick Jones at 14, but the ripple effect in the better value that you get Joey Porter Jr. with the very first selection in the second round, that pick coming over from the Bears for the Chase Claypool trade. So you're bringing in Joey Porter Jr., who's going to have a chip on his shoulder because he probably felt like he was the best corner in this draft. And you get him at 32 instead of with a mid-first round pick. So it's not really just the Broderick Jones selection. It's what happened as a result of all of that as well, Ike.
I mean, the NFL said 32 on the second day, but, 32 is still a first-round draft pick, technically. So, you get exactly your want and your need in 2 picks in the first round, damn near, if you want to look at it that way. That usually don't happen, especially when you don't have a lot of picks, so say. But yeah, O did his thing during the season, and it started off with a trade for Chase Claypool, getting that 32nd pick for the Chicago Bears. So that kicked off everything. So just to put things in perspective, I think Peasy, Joey Porter Sr., he said it best. You're getting a pissed off corner, and that's exactly what you want. Him thinking that he was going to go early, I'm so glad he didn't. He landed exactly where he needed to land, and he got that call sitting at home. And Pittsburgh has always been his home in Wexford, PA, and he ain't going nowhere. So the good thing about it, he grew up around all of this goodness. And what I mean by that, Super Bowls, locker room, ball boy, equipment manager. He was once one of those guys in that locker. And now he has a locker in that locker room being a Pittsburgh Steelers. So it's just a unique story. Mark playing with his dad, watching JP Jr. grow up, and now, what are the odds? I was in his locker room as a kid. Now I'm in his locker room as a player. So what are the odds somebody can say that? And but we have him, Joey Porter Jr. So there we go.
That Friday night, the Steelers drafted him too. I love how he was just like, "Yep, we're going to do the news conference tonight. I'm driving to the facility." Usually it's like, "Oh, well, we'll get you on a plane or we'll wait till the next day." No. Friday night, we're going to TCB, and that's taking care of business, Ike.
Yeah, they ain't nothing but a 30-minute drive. So, I think he got there in 20. So,
yeah.
Yeah, he took that express lane, that toll lane, and he just hit the gas. But man, it's just good. It's just good to have him. The way it unfolded, Mark, and high expectations because you're going into the draft. It's a lot of hype. And it's predictions, and you just look at it like, and you sitting in that room and your name don't get called. It's a long day for them first rounders. It's a long day, Mark. A long day for them first rounders. It's a hell of a week. It's a great experience, but it's a long day for them. And I can only imagine not getting your name called. But from a player's perspective, and we was talking about this at the cigar lounge, I don't want to go in the first round. That's a lot of pressure. Second round, me all the way down. Just second round, me all the way down. That first round, if you're not going to the organization, a good organization, that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure. So, and that's how I looked at it. I'm like, he damn near in the first round, but really ain't no pressure if you think about it. So, and I have a son, and I'm just selfishly speaking as a dad. I don't know where he gonna go. I don't know what the good man what's in store for him, but Second, second round me. If I can do it over with, and I win the fourth, so it won't no expectations for me.
Mm-hmm.
Second round wasn't even a thought on a lot of boards, but I'm just looking at that pressure. You got to be built different to go in that first round. You have to. So I do tip my hat off to all the kids because I felt the pressure, and I'm just sitting in the room.
Mm.
So I can only imagine. I don't think them kids are feeling the pressure. They just going through the moment. They living out their dream. It's a game changing. It's a life changing. When your name do get called and get picked, not only for the NFL draft, but just in general for that first round. But when you go to an organization, either you're gonna second half me in that first round, because after the 18th pick, we talking about playoff teams. So you just gonna be part of the missing piece to the puzzle. That's how I look at it. But from that 1 through 15, if you ain't going to a good organization, it's tough on the mentals. It's tough on the mentals.
I know it's a quarterback league, but I think there's only a handful of quarterbacks. And if it was an exact science, teams would have a lot greater success in drafting quarterbacks.
Right.
Organizational fit, and I think coaching goes into that. I think personnel to a certain extent point. Like, my point being, there's only so many Peyton Manning, Joe Burrow, Andrew Luck, John Elway types that the moment they're drafted, it completely flips an organization. By and large, I think prospects, whether they succeed or not, a lot of that's not even in their own individual hands.
Correct.
That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion, Ike.
No, you're right, Mark. Like, it's a lot of scenarios when you're talking about the top 15 picks. I mean, the organization you gotta look at the coaching staff, you gotta look at the roster, and you can't fault the kid from going that high. Obviously, a team or front office, the GM, they like the kid for a reason. Whether you want to say the kid is good or not, but it's not the kid's fault. So all the kids is trying to do is play football by the end of the day. Mm-hmm. But just selfishly speaking, 18 me on down. Because I know after 18, we talking about playoff teams. Either they got, bumped out the playoffs real early, or they barely squeezed in the playoffs. But you're going to a good organization when you want to talk about playoff teams.